Today, we're going to talk about something huge. A story that you can't measure in years, but in epochs. We're talking about the planet's very first great breath. We're talking about the Amazon. I want you to just picture this for a second. Go way, way back. Before clocks, before maps, heck, before we even had a word for history. Back then, the Earth took its first real, deep breath. And that breath, it came from one single, gigantic green place. A forest that would, in time, pretty much define what life on this planet looks like. So to really understand the Amazon, you kind of have to reset your brain's clock. We're stepping into a forest that's not just old, it is older than memory itself. This is a living, breathing system that's been doing its thing for at least 55 million years. It's just mind-boggling. Okay, try to imagine this. It's dawn. The whole forest just wakes up, all at once. You've got fog curling around the tops of these massive trees, almost like a slow-moving dream, and every single leaf is dripping with yesterday's rain. You see, this isn't just a bunch of trees, no way. It's more like one giant, living thing. A listening, breathing being that's been part of this world for an unimaginable amount of time. And you know, the forest has this really different relationship with time. It's not scared of things ending. Why? Because for the forest, there are no real endings. There are just cycles. It just knows deep in its roots that every single ending is actually the start of a brand new beginning. So picture this, a huge, ancient tree finally falls over. Now, you might think, oh, that's a tragedy. But to the forest, it's an opportunity. It's a game changer. All of a sudden, for the first time in maybe centuries, sunlight can actually hit the forest floor. That little patch of light wakes up all these seeds that have just been waiting, biding their time for this exact moment. Right away, insects and birds swarm in. And just like that, boom, life starts all over again. But the forest is incredible. But it's not the whole story. It's always had two ancient partners. The river, which is basically its lifeblood, and the first people who figured out how to live with it, not just in it. And the Amazon River itself, well, it didn't just appear as this huge, massive thing. No. It started as this little quiet stream, way up in the mountains, and it just knew it had to flow. And as it did, other streams joined in, like they trusted where it was going. And together, all that water carved out valleys and literally shaped the continent. What's amazing is that the river doesn't fight the forest, it feeds it. It rises so gently every year that you can barely tell where the land ends and the water begins. Then there were the people. Long before anyone else showed up, people called this place home. And the key thing to understand is they didn't live on top of the forest. They lived inside of it. They moved with its rhythms, you know? They actually listened to what it was telling them. They knew that to make it here, you couldn't just take. You had to be a part of it. So, we've talked about the big stuff, the trees, the river. But what we can actually see, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Underneath that huge green canopy, there's a whole other kingdom, a world of invisible lives that most people will never, ever see. I mean, just think about it. A jaguar slips through the trees without making a single sound. It's more like a shadow than an animal. Or you've got this tiny frog that glows with this crazy, impossible blue color. Or an insect that looks so much like a flower that it fools, well, everything. See, life here isn't trying to get noticed. It's just trying to survive. And get this, we think about 10% of all known species on Earth live here. And that's just the ones we know about. There are millions more that we haven't even discovered yet. It's incredible. It really makes you stop and think, doesn't it? It's kind of humbling. We think we've got it all figured out, but there's so much we don't know. The Amazon, it doesn't just hand over its secrets. The forest keeps them very, very carefully. And while all that secret stuff is happening, something else is going on every single day. Billions, with a B, billions of leaves are performing this quiet little miracle. They're breathing. They're sucking in enormous amounts of CO2. We're talking an estimated 123 times billion tons of carbon stored away. Then they breathe out moisture, which forms clouds that literally travel thousands of miles. They bring rain to places, to cities and farms that have no idea where it came from. This, right here, is the breath of the world. But then, everything changed. Into this ancient, perfectly balanced world, a new sound arrived. A sound the forest had never heard before. a sound it couldn't understand. And that's when the forest first heard fire. It started with a sound that was just wrong. The shriek of metal teeth tearing into ancient wood. And then, a different kind of roar. This wasn't a jaguar. It wasn't thunder. It was the sound of engines. And it was louder and just kept going, in a way that natural thunder never does. And then came the worst part, the ultimate violation. Fire. In a place that for millions and millions of years had been ruled by water, by rain. I mean, the difference is just, it's night and day. For millions of years, the forest only knew these gentle, natural cycles. Quiet growth, rain, rebirth. What it hears now, it's the scream of chainsaws, the roar of engines, the crackle of fire that doesn't belong. And the scale of it is staggering. Right now, we lose an area of this ancient forest about the size of a football field every single minute. It's an unnatural, deafening change. So, that's what brings us to today, right now. But look, this story isn't finished, not by a long shot. The forest is at a crossroads, and what happens next? Well, it comes down to a choice written in green. We are right at a critical tipping point, seriously. Scientists are warning us that if we keep going like this, the forest could actually lose its ability to make its own rain. The whole system could just collapse, and huge parts of it would turn into a dry savanna. The forest would literally forget how to be a forest. But what if it's given a chance to heal? What if we choose a different path? Because here's the thing, even now, under all that damage, under the ash, there are seeds just waiting. There are roots still holding on, holding the earth together. The forest's will to live is just so powerful. Life is stubborn, it's a quiet, and it is always, always preparing for tomorrow. So when the sun comes up tomorrow on the Amazon and all those billions of leaves take another breath for the planet, well, our story is now part of its story. What happens next? It's not carved in stone. It's not written in the trees or the rivers. It's written by us. It's written in the choices we all make.